Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for This Day in Metal, and I'm back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week. And I have 4 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week and a couple of other special mentions. But before I begin, can we just quickly talk about the Olympics? I know everybody's been talking about that this weekend for various different reasons, but obviously, as this is a metal-based channel, I'm going to be talking about Gojira and their performance at the opening ceremony this year. Now, if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in full, check out the description box below because I posted about it on the This Day in Metal website, and it has the full 3-minute long video. I can't show it here because it seems to be getting banned and locked down and various other things across YouTube at the moment for some reason. I know a couple of other channels have had issues uploading footage, even if it is just 10 seconds or photos or whatever. So I have a link to the full footage, the 3-minute long footage, in the description box below that I posted on the This Day in Metal website. But how amazing was that? Not just for Gojira. I mean, obviously that was a very career-defining moment for them, but for metal in general, being played at the Olympics, broadcasted to billions of people worldwide. That is absolutely incredible. And obviously, the little history geek that I am was over the moon with the various different historical references just in Gojira's set alone. For example, Marie Antoinette. That was really cool. But honestly, the performance was just spectacular. Let me know what you think. I just wanted to mention it very quickly because it completely blew me away. But 4 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week, and once again, check out the description box below where you will find a Spotify playlist which will feature every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos. So if you use Spotify, make sure to follow that playlist because I do update that every single Monday as soon as this video goes live. If you don't use Spotify though, don't worry about it because I have also included the band's Bandcamp links or their YouTube channels just so you can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. But like I said, 4 brand new albums and a couple of special mentions, so let's get on with it. So before I talk about the 4 albums that I want to recommend this week, there were another 4 albums that I also want to make a special mention about. So we have Category 7, the Metal Church live album, Powerwolf and Dream Evil. Now, I just wanted to quickly mention these albums because I did really enjoy them. I'm just not going to be going into great detail about them on this particular video because it's not something that I would often revisit compared to the next 4 that I'm going to be recommending to you guys. But if you do want a wee breakdown of what I have to say about these albums, check out the description box below because I wrote an article about them on the This Day in Metal website, so you can check it out there. Like I said, I really enjoyed them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them whatsoever. Not really the kind of style that I lean towards very often, but they are something that I do enjoy from time to time, which is why I thought I'd give them a special mention in today's video. However, the very first album that I want to talk about in more detail this week is the new Wormwitch album, which is self-titled, and I believe that's the 4th studio album from the Canadian black metal band. Now, it is a black metal band, it is a black metal record, but there are also elements of punk, doom, a little bit of death in there, a tiny little bit of thrash, and some rock and roll, but it is, all in all, a black metal record. This record is full of epic solos, pummeling blast beats, chugging bass lines, and the vocal style is powerful, rasping, black metal vocals with a little bit of a doom edge to them as well. Now, this is a ridiculously hard, heavy record, but despite the fact it is an onslaught of brutality, there's a lot of groove, kind of melodic elements in there as well. It's very subtle, and they do err more on the heavy, crushing black metal side, but there's also that cool kind of groove stomp to it. There's a lot of melodic little elements in there, and it makes it a really interesting, dynamic listen. Now, this is a really multi-layered record that is really interesting to listen to, and a fine example of that is the track Inner War, because for the first minute or so, it starts off with an acoustic number, and it's very haunting and really, it has a really calming ambience, and it's so beautiful, and it's like that for a solid minute with these acoustic guitars. It's absolutely spectacular. But then it comes crashing in with the screaming guitars and the blast beats and the vocal roars and the power and the energy and just pure in your face black metal. And I think it's a really cool transition. You know, it kind of gives you that reprieve a little bit from the brutality with that beautiful ambient acoustic number before it just rip roars straight into it once again. And there's also a really stunning instrumental in it as well, where it kind of sounds medieval, or it kind of has like a fantasy theme about it, but it is so relaxing and so beautifully executed before it rips into that solid black metal with a doom punk kind of edge to it again. This is a really, really cool album to listen to, so if you've not listened to any Wormwitch before, definitely start here, because this is my most favourite album that they've released so far. So if you are a fan of the likes of Stormkeep, Uada, Dark Throne, Celtic Frost, that kind of vibe, this one is definitely for you. I really enjoyed this one. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Void Witch with Horripilating Presence, and it's the debut album from the death doom metal band from the US. Now, they released a really cool EP back in 2021, I think it was, and I've been keeping my eye on them ever since, and this album is absolutely fantastic. They've taken old school death metal, classic doom metal with a little bit of sludgy melodics in there as well to create this perfectly balanced, creepy, ominous, knuckle-dragging death doom metal album. And it has a lot of really cool intricacies in it with the guitar work. So you have all of that really creepy, dragging doom metal ambience with the attitude of death metal, with a wee sprinkling of very subtle melodics in there, but it does very much focus on the doom metal and the death metal side of things. Probably more so the doom metal with death metal elements throughout it, but there's just something very muscular about the presence of this record, and it really captivates you. It is so dark and so creepy and ominous, and it just really strikes you right in the soul, and you cannot help but to keep listening to it. There's something very, very enticing about this doom metal record. But even though it's really dense on the doom side of things, the guitar work in this is definitely a focal point, because the guitar works, the riffs, the solos really pierce through you and they soar, and it makes things really, really interesting to listen to. This is an utterly fantastic record, so if you are a fan of death doom metal records, especially like Hooded Menace, Entombed, Temple of Void, My Dying Bride, but with the more guttural vocals rather than the clean vocals that My Dying Bride carry out, this one is definitely for you. Like I said, I'm particular about my doom metal, but this one is an absolutely stellar example of what I love the most about the subgenre, with a wee bit of death metal sprinkled in there as well. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Blood Crown with Sound of Flesh and Bone, and it's the debut album from the Swedish melodic death metal band. Now, this is old school, no fuss, melodic death metal from Sweden. So you don't have any of the orchestration, there's no keyboards, there's no synths. This focuses heavily on the heavier side of the melodic death metal subgenre, and sometimes that's just what you need. So there's lots of really cool groove infused riffage throughout this entire record, pummeling drums that go from your blast beats to your rhythmical kind of thunderous drumming, and the vocal style is very guttural, very energetic, and very, very powerful. The tracks alternate between mid-tempo stompy stomps and a rampaging pace, but they really do focus on the guitars. It is very much a guitar-centric record, this. Now, if you do like early In Flames or At the Gates, Entombed, and a little bit of Lamb of God in there as well, actually, this one is definitely for you. But it's a really fun, jumpy, yet brutally heavy melodic death metal record. So if you like that early 90s kind of melodic death metal sound from Sweden, definitely get onto this one. This is a really fun album. Okay, so last up on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have Wraith Fair with Of Fell Peaks and Haunted Chasms. And this is the debut album from the symphonic melodic black metal one-man band project from the UK. I love these solo projects, and this is a pure example of the kind of talent that is out there. You have your blistering black metal. It is very much a second wave 90s kind of black metal sound. You've got your pummeling blast beats. The blast beats are ridiculous in this. The guitars are frantically riffing away, but the solos are stellar as well, and dissonant, powerful, rasping black metal vocals that just call out from the void. And as well as all of that amazing instrumentation and that pure raw black metal, there's a lot of heavy melodics in there as well. But the key point that makes this so magical, as well as all of that black metal wonder, is the symphonics. There's a heavy presence of symphonics, keyboards and synths, and it just makes this very mysterious, frosty, haunting kind of atmosphere that really is magical. It reminds me of, you know, a fantasy land. You're going off on an adventure, frosty mountain peaks, dense forests full of magic and adventure, and this is no exception. I love this record. It is so densely atmospheric, but the instrumentation is beyond amazing as well. The solos in this are unreal. So if you like bands such as Moonlight Sorcery, or if you've liked Dawdled Wealth or Belore, any of these kind of, you know, mysterious symphonic melodic black metal bands that I've recommended on this channel, definitely get on this one. Totally fell in love with this, and I cannot stop playing this. It is so magical, so mysterious, so captivating, and really, really addictive, but it crushes you at the same time. Don't sleep on it. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records, and if you have any of your own recommendations, let me know and I will definitely get those checked out. Remember to follow my Spotify playlist, which gets updated every Monday after these videos go live. Let me know what you think of Gojira's performance at the Olympics over the weekend as well. Thank you so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video.